Hello, dear students. Welcome to this second accounting class. I'm Miss Tania Poveda. Welcome back. Today we're going to continue with some vocabulary that we need to handle very well to work in businesses or in accounting. And it is jobs and work. And right now you're probably thinking that, oh, that's very easy and it's like too simple. Honestly, it is. It is something very simple. The thing that we're going to learn today is the different situations that we're going to use each word. Because even they are very similar, the way we use them in business is kind of different. One thing is to work, another thing is jobs. But we're going to study the differences today. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you like it. And if you have any question, you know you can always text me or send me an email. So here in the picture, we have different jobs, right? We have this woman, probably she is a doctor, right? We have farmer, policewoman, tennis player, probably a journalist, and a mine worker. Okay, so we have different jobs. That was easy, right? Let's continue, and we're going to start with the definitions of these two words. And the first one is work. Here, we have letter N because we're talking about work as a noun. As a noun, okay? So what is work? It's the physical or mental effort or activity directed toward the production or accomplishment of something. Other words for work: labor, employment, job. And here they explain a little bit about job, the means by which one earns one's livelihood. Okay? So we're going, actually the difference is not too big. They are 99% similar words. It's the way we use them. And that's what I'm going to explain here. So, and as a verb, we use work when we are talking about physical or mental effort. As a verb, I know we handle this word very well. Like, for example, in this picture, the boy is working, the girl is working, they are working. Probably he works for an electronics company, probably she works for an electronics company. We don't know that yet. Okay, let's continue. Okay, definition of job. Number one, a paid position of regular employment. Okay, we just read that employment and it was here. Here, you see. So we can replace that for work. So a paid position of regular work. The thing is that here it's being more specific because it says a paid position. Like in the first picture, the doctor or the tennis player. Okay. Jobs are created in the private sector, not in Washington. That's an example. We can also say works here. Let me use this. Okay, we can say works are created. Synonyms for jobs. Listen and repeat after me. Are you ready? Occupation. Good. Profession. Trade. Position. Career. Work. Line of work. What is line of work? For example, education, that's a line of work. I work in education. Other people work in medicine. Other people work in law. So it's like the general situation of a work. Livelihood. You probably recognize this is a combined word. Livelihood. Post. Situation. Appointment. Meteor. Craft. And more. Okay? Number 2. Other definition for job is a task or piece of work, especially one that is paid. In both cases, we're talking about payment. Here, paid, and here, paid position. What is the example in number 2? She wants to be left alone to get on with the job. So apparently this person works better by herself. Synonyms: task, piece of work, assignment, or project. Okay? So in number 1, we have like the specific situation, like occupation and profession, etc. But here is like a smaller activity because here we're talking about a piece of work, and this is line of work. So for example, line of work, in my case, I work in education. The piece of work, I teach. That's my assignment. That's my task, my responsibility. So we're probably getting now a better idea about the difference between work and job. But let's continue. Here we have some keywords. And I like this because usually when we ask someone about some people or a person about the job they do, they usually use like common sentences like, oh, I'm a teacher, I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm studying. But here we have other ways to be more specific when you are talking about a job. And they are not too difficult, they are not too different than those in Spanish. And let's listen and repeat after me again. I work for. I work on. I run. And here is not run like exercise. No, here we use this word as in business. I manage. Come on, repeat after me. I manage. I work under. I am in charge of. I deal with. I am responsible for. I work with. Okay, good job. Now, how do we use these expressions? Well, you know very well I'm a teacher, so I'm going to use my position to explain because it's what I know the best. But you can apply the same words and expressions for any other profession, any other job. For example, if someone asks me, what do you do? I can say, I'm a teacher. And then I stop talking. Okay, I finish. I'm a teacher, that's it. It involves all of this. But if I want to be more specific, it's really good that we learn other expressions. For example, I work for La Inmaculada High School. So you see, I'm not saying only I'm a teacher, I'm telling you I work for La Inmaculada High School. I work on education field. I work on projects. I work on teaching. I run maybe negotiations with providers, for example. I run projects, I run negotiations. I manage a lot of information, or I manage the English department. This is like manager, but the verb. I work under the vice principal's instructions. I work under the vice principal's instructions. I work under her. I'm in charge of a lot of teachers. I'm in charge of the English department. I'm in charge of teaching, accounting, for example. I deal with a lot of people. I deal with a lot of paperwork. I am responsible for other teachers. I am responsible for teaching my classes. I work with other teachers. I work with teenagers. I work with students. So you see all the information you can give using these expressions when I'm talking about keywords, when I'm talking about teaching or being a teacher. So what if you are a doctor, for example? Let's talk about a doctor. A doctor might say something like, I work for the main hospital. I work on medicine. I run a hospital. I manage maybe the biggest department in a hospital. I work under the director of the hospital instructions. I am in charge of healing people. I deal with patients. I am responsible for maybe doing a lot of paperwork. I work with other doctors, or I work with nurses. So we can use exactly the same expressions with two different jobs, a teacher and a doctor. Let's continue. And now we're going to read a little bit. And here we're going to find these expressions, maybe much better than my examples. So let's read. When someone asks you, what do you do? To find out what someone's job is, you say, what do you do? Instead of saying, what's your job or what do you do for a living? This is very simple. What do you do? Here, Kerstin talks about her job. And she says, I work for a large European car maker. I work on car design. In fact, I run the design department and I manage a team of 20 designers. 20 people work under me. It's very interesting. One of my main responsibilities is to make sure that new model designs are finished on time. I'm also in charge of design budgets. I deal with a lot of different people in the company. I'm responsible for coordination between design and production. I work with managers at our manufacturing plants. So now we understand and we know all these expressions. It means we know a lot by now. Remember that we are learning to use jobs and works expressions in different situations. Okay, this is a warning. Be careful with this. When we use in charge of or responsible for, we can use a noun or a verb in ing. For example, let's talk about Kirsten. She says, I am also in charge of design budgets. What is this, a noun or an ing verb? It's an ing verb, right? So we have in charge of, my bad. It's not an ing verb, it's a noun. Thank you. So in charge of design department is a noun. I'm a teacher. Me, Miss Tania, I'm in charge of the English department. A noun again. I'm in charge of teaching. Verb ing. So we can use these two ways when we're using the expression in charge of. What about I'm responsible for? Let's read what Christine says. She says, I am responsible for coordination. So that's a noun or an ing verb. I am responsible for coordination. It's a noun, right? Like me too. I'm responsible for negotiations, maybe. For books or capacitations, etc. We can use with ing too. For example, Christine is responsible for designing. For designing. Me, Miss Tania, I'm responsible for teaching. ing. Now we have the expression responsibility. So I have responsibilities. One of my responsibilities is to make sure that my students learn, for example. Or one of my responsibilities is making sure my students learn. So we can use this one with to, which is infinitive, or ing verbs. What we absolutely cannot say is I am a responsible. I am a responsible. Okay, and I think you understand that that's pretty easy grammar. So now we have this activity. It says Pierre is talking about his work, just like Christine did. Correct what he says. So if we pay attention on the numbers from 1 to 8, we're going to find some italic words like about, I am manage, running, charged with, responsible of, etc. So all these italic expressions we have here, we have to correct them using the right one. Which ones? These ones. Okay, let's do that. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that right now. This is going to be your homework, okay? So I hope you understand clearly what you have to do now. It's to replace the italic expressions in numbers from 1 to 8 using these words here. That's going to be in your email, so don't worry. And now, let's check some combinations with the word work. And I like this. It says word combination with work. So we can use it now. We continue learning how to use it in different ways. You can say you work or have a work. I work for La Inmaculada. I have a work to do for La Inmaculada, for example. If you work or have work, you have a job. You see, I have a work, I have a job, or I have work. But you don't say that someone has a work, what I just said. Okay, you don't say I have a work. No, you say I have a job. Work is also the place where you do your job. Here are some phrases with work. Let's read. Hi, I'm Frank. I work in a bank in New York City. I leave for work at 7:30 every morning. This is one expression. I leave for work. I go to work by train and subway. Other expression. Go to work or to work. I get to arrive at work, or I get to work, or I arrive at work. So we have two sentences here at about 9. I'm usually at work till 6. This is like until. I'm usually at work, this is other expression, at till 6. Luckily, I don't get ill very much, so I'm not often off work. Off with double F, as we can see here, means being out. You don't go to work. When you are sick, you are working, and you are off work with double F, it means you didn't go to work. You are missing. Here we have other example. The economy is growing fast and more people are in work than ever before. The percentage of people out of work has fallen to its lowest level for 30 years. Out of work means unemployment, the opposite of employment. Out of work, people without a job. Okay, so many expressions again. You don't say, for example, I am at the work. No, how do you say? I am at work. Or I'm going to the work. No, you say I'm going. Here's it. I'm going to work. Or I'm going to my job. So now that we know these expressions and we understand very well how to use the word combinations with work, we can do this exercise. You think you can do it by yourself or you need my help? What is important here, you have six blanks, right? What it is important here is that you complete with these expressions here. Leave for work, to work, get to or arrive at work, off work, out of work. So you pay attention to the reading, read carefully, and complete the spaces with the right expression from section B. You can read it here. Complete the text with one of the prepositions from B, opposite. That's this one. And it says, Rebecca lives in London and works in public relations. She leaves home for work at 7:30. She drives to work, at work, of work. Okay, you check again this video or the information and then complete. The traffic is often bad and she worries about getting, where is getting here, work late. But she usually arrives, where is arrives here? Okay. Work at around 9. She finishes work quite late and about 8, luckily, I'm never ill, she says. I could never take time. What do you write here with double F? Because she's never ill, she's never sick. She loves what she does and is glad to be work. Some of her friends are not so lucky. They are. So she has a wonderful job. She has a work. She has a job. I'm confusing again. She has a job, but her friends are not so lucky. What happened with them? What expression do you use when people don't have a job? The answer is here or here. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for your attention. I know you're going to do a wonderful homework, and I hope to see you next week. Bye bye.